Great. Let's find our mountain pose. So we're going to take our toes and just kind of turn them in a little bit so that opens up the back hips, and just let the arms fall open and drop our gaze. And we'll start with a few breaths. Nice deep inhale through the nose, a nice big let it go kind of breath. Exhale. Again, deep filling up the lungs, and then a big let it go. Two more. And then we're just going to take our arms and just lift them up. Nice big stretch through the body, and then exhale, bring it right back down into the heart center. Just a couple more circles of the breath. Inhale and exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Last one. And exhale. Great. I want you to stand tall in your right leg. So really your left leg. Push down into that left leg, and we're going to pick up the right leg. And as we pick up the right leg, you can grab it by the knee, the shin, wherever you can reach, and push into the floor to stand up really tall. Starting off with a bang. Let the arms go to your side, and we're just going to do a couple knee circles right here. And the other way. And as you lift that leg up and then place it right down. Again, just a little turn in so that we stretch out the back of the leg. Standing strong now in the right leg, lifting yourself up, picking the leg up, grabbing wherever you can, and lifting the knee up towards your chest. Make sure the elbows are bent and not locked out, and there's no strain in the neck or the shoulders. And on your next exhale, we'll just circle the knee a couple times. And the other way. Good. And then we'll place that foot down. Again, just noticing where we are, how the hips feel, how the neck and the shoulders feel. Let the arms just sway from side to side as we just go into a little twist. And then we'll hold over on the right-hand side. Just let yourself sway over, grab the hip, let the right arm go back behind you, and we just stretch through the torso, lift the chest a little bit. In your next exhale, bring yourself back to the center. And again, we'll swing over to the left, grab the hip with your right hand, lift your chest up, and let the left arm reach back behind you. And then bringing it back and into the center. Inhale, arms coming all the way up. I know you can't see my hands, but I'm going to hook the thumbs together, and I'm going to let the arms just kind of be like an elf on a shelf kind of thing. And we're going to go over to one side. A little drag of the arms, so we open up the right side of the body, left side of the body. I can't even remember my rights and lefts. It's a long day. And as you exhale, bring yourself back up. Let's do the other side again. Stretching the thumb to open up the ribs. Your gaze kind of looks down a little bit so that we open up that side. Good. And then we're just going to have to let ourselves tick-tock and see if we can loosen it up a little bit more so that when we go into that holding pattern, we can check in and see if we can go a little deeper. And so as we do go over to the right side, roll that left shoulder back, lift the left ribs up towards the sky, and see if we can go into our half crescent. Just send the hips out a little bit and reach. And then exhale, lift yourself back up, and we're going to go off to the other side. Just see if you can go a little bit further than the first time we did this, sending the hips off to the right a little bit, rolling that right shoulder back, lifting the ribs to the ceiling. Beautiful. And then muscles that you feel stretching, use them. And then bring the hands down into the heart. We're going to take the hands back behind us. Again, we're going to hook the thumbs together, and we're going to let our fingers reach towards the floor. And as they do, you're going to roll your shoulders back and lift your heart up to the sky for a nice little Gentle back bend. Be careful not to lock the knees out. Use your abdominals to support your lower back. Nice deep breath. As you exhale, the hands let go. Again, arms lifting up towards the sky, and then right back down into the heart center, and we'll pause here. Walking to the front edge of your mat. Again, those toes slightly turned in. We'll begin our first sun salutation A, breathing in as the arms come up towards the sky. Exhale, forward fold. Knees are soft. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale again into the forward fold. Hands to the floor if you want. Bend the knees and step back into a plank. Draw the shoulders down your back. It means your biceps are facing forward. We're going to drop the knees down to the floor, flatten out the shins, and bend the elbows so that they touch your ribs as we come down towards the floor. Press into the floor to lift yourself up into a little baby cobra. Careful not to lift your chin, let your heart reach away. Curl the toes under, push yourself back, sitting back into child's pose. And we're going to walk right into down dog. Make a space between the heel of your hand and your toes that fits your shoulders. So you might want to walk in a little bit. Take a nice inhale, sinking the heart towards your knees. And then on your exhale, walk your feet into your hands. Half lift, forward fold, and let's reach around big as we come all the way up. And hands down into the heart center. Again, breathing in, arms lifting, chest rising. Exhale, coming down into the forward fold. Half lift, forward fold, hands to the floor, stepping back into plank. Reach your chest forward, down to the knees. Bend the elbows so that the biceps are facing forward as you come down so slow to the floor. Inhale, lift your heart up, baby cobra. Maybe hold this for a little bit more, push a little bit into the hands. And then as you exhale, curl your toes under, push yourself back. Little hang out here in child's pose, reaching the arms all the way out in front of you. Let's walk both hands over to the right. Reach the left hand a little longer as we sink back and stretch. And then back to the center. And over to the left. Reach the right hand a little longer, stretching through the side. Coming back to the center. Walk your hands in a little closer. Push yourself up, down dog. Let's again sink the chest to the knees. Maybe walk your feet a little bit. Couple more breaths here. Maybe drop both heels down. Sink that heart towards your thighs. And then let's walk our feet back into our hands. Half lift. Forward fold. Stretch those arms all the way up. And hands into the heart center. Beautiful. Take the arms all the way up. Stretch them out and bring them back behind you, lacing the fingers together. A little soft knees here. Roll those shoulders back. Reach the fingers towards the floor. Drop your gaze and let's roll down slowly here. Bending those knees and lifting the arms up just enough to open up the chest. And then lowering the hands down towards the floor. Half lift. And go into a forward fold, maybe where you can grab the elbows and let yourself kind of hang a little bit here, sway from side to side. Make sure that the belly is lifting the hold and support the spine. Maybe your head relaxes a little bit and you turn your head from right to left. And then you're going to make your way up slow. Inhaling, lifting the arms up towards the sky. And finding that four hands to the heart. Breathing in deeply, arms lifting towards the sky. Come into that forward fold. Half lift. We'll head back into that plank again. So spread the fingers wide, stepping back 1 foot at a time. Draw the shoulders down, biceps facing forward. You can drop the knees if you want, or if you want to challenge yourself, come down into chaturanga, which means bending the elbows and coming all the way down to the floor. This girl can't do that yet, but if you can, go for the gold. Push into the floor, lift your chest up, maybe a little bit more. We come up into a little bit bigger cobra, but keep those elbows touching your side. Tops of the feet flat on the floor. Bring yourself back down, curl the toes under, send yourself back, child's pose. I want you to lift your hips up a little bit and walk your right hand out. Send the left hand up towards the sky. We're going to thread the needle here. Sending that left arm underneath. Now you can walk your right hand in and see if you can go a little further, or if you like the stretch for that right arm shoulder, keep it out there. You can keep the toes curled under or flatten out the feet. You kind of hang out here and thread the needle. You can rest your head on the floor if you have a prop. Put your head on it if you like that. Let's come out of this, slide your right hand underneath your shoulder. Push yourself up, unwind, reach all the way up. And find your tabletop. Walk your left hand all the way out in front of you. Draw that shoulder down and then lift the right hand up towards the sky. Nice twist before we head under. And let the right arm reach as the left arm walks out, if you like that, or you can walk your left hand in, whatever you did on the other side. Bring your left hand in, push the floor away. Bring the right hand to the floor. Curl your toes under and come up into our down dog. Walk your feet into your hands. And we're going to keep the fingertips on the floor right by our ankles and sit back into chair pose. Once you have where your seat is going to be, you start to lift your chest upward. You want to make sure your hips are tucked under, so you're using your lower abdominals, and we'll bring the hands to the heart center. Let's hold this for a few breaths. So here in this pose, I'm just going to face you so you can see. We're going to sink down into our chair, and we're just going to start to twist off to the right, pressing the palms together, and then twist off to the left, pressing the palms together. Work a little bit of abs, so we're going to do a few more of these twists. And each time you do the twist, use your breath maybe to go a little further and deeper into that twist. Keep the weight in your heels so that you're not forward in your knees. We're going to bring ourselves as far over to the right as you can go. And if you want, you can place your elbow right on the knee and go a little deeper into that twist. If you're feeling good in this shape here, you can stay here. But if you want a little more challenge, let the left arm go down towards the floor and the right arm twist up towards the sky. And we expand our position here. Bringing that left hand down, we're going to turn as far around over to the right as we can go, bringing the fingertips to the floor. And you're going to bend your knees to sit back into your heels. So I want you to feel that the elbows are right by your thigh and your hip so that you can lean forward a little bit. So this is a prep for side crow. We just want to kind of hang out here, leaning forward, but elbows bent. And then on your exhale, push deeply into your heels and come back into chair. Press into the heels, rise up, lift the arms up towards the sky, and then let them open and down to your sides for mountain pose, the front edge of your mat. Breathe in, we'll go back into that forward fold. Half lift, forward fold. You can step back into plank, come down with your knees, or go into your chaturanga, your choice. You can come down to the mat into baby cobra. You can come into cobra, or you can come into up dog. And up dog is flattening out the tops of the feet, lifting the knees. We can curl the toes under from here, scoop the belly, lift all the way up, and that neat and down dog. Lower the heels. And then look up and walk your feet into your hands. Find your chair. Hands at the heart. Sitting back, shoulders down, and we'll make that twist left and right. Find your breath. Ring out the day. We'll hang over on the left side. You can bring the elbow to the knee and go a little deeper into the shape, or, and again, don't force yourself into a particular place. Let it just be. Extend the twist even more by expanding the arms. Challenging the legs even more by sinking down to the floor, coming into a twist, and prepping for a side crow. Walk the hands in, bend the elbows, reach your heart out, and start to lean forward. Bringing it back in, pressing into the floor, bringing yourself back into the center, all the way up. Raise the arms, let the arms come down to your side. Pause here in mountain, close your eyes. Feel the heat that the body is creating, warming up the muscles, letting all that stress of the day just fall away. We'll find your way back up to the front edge of the mat. And we'll move into some side work. So nice deep breath, inhale. This time, take the arms and stretch them out really big. Reach around the room. Good. Forward fold. Come into a half lift. And forward fold. While we're in our forward fold, I want you to think about how low can my chest get to my knees? Bringing the chest towards the knees, the belly towards the thighs, the hands making their way to the floor. So it's not about forcing ourselves to bring our fingertips to the floor. It's about bringing the belly to the thighs. So a couple places that you can place your hands while we're here, stretching out the lower back. You can also use your blocks if we haven't made it that far yet. Raise the floor. So we're working on lengthening up through the back of the legs. So you want to tilt your hips up a little bit towards the sky. And if your fingertips have made it to the floor, you can tent the fingers. That's a good place to start. But if you can make your hands flat on the floor, here's a couple options. Fingers wrap around the big toes, elbows bend, and try to bring your nose towards your knees. Or we can take our hands and bring them underneath our feet. And this, the toes pressing into the wrists, Helps us to stretch out the wrists and the fingers. And one of my favorites is just to stand on the blocks too. So raising the floor helps us to go deeper into our stretch. Hanging out in our forward folds. If you're on the blocks, let's step off. If you're stepping on your hands or using your fingers, let's untie our hands from our feet. And we're going to take our right leg and cross it over the left. I want you to squeeze the inner thighs together and let yourself kind of hang out here. Again, use the block if you need to for balance and to raise the floor. Maybe if the forward fold's a little too much for the lower back, use the block. And then we'll uncross. If you need to come out of it for a moment, do so. Otherwise, you can stay here in the forward fold for a moment before we switch over to the other side. We'll cross and squeeze the legs together. And again, letting ourselves forward fold. And then if you're crossed, uncross. Find a half lift, reaching the heart away. Go back into that forward fold and roll up slowly. Being in that inversion sends everything to the head. So take a nice deep breath as you reach the top and give yourself that moment to pause. Chin to chest. And then letting the arms fall by your side. We'll take our block and we'll place it off to the left side of our feet. All right, so bend the knees gently, not a lot, just enough to feel buoyant. We'll press the palms together and we're just gonna pick up the right leg, just hold it. Good, and then we're gonna bring it over. We're gonna bring our toes right to the top of the block. We're gonna work on our eagle posture. You wanna squeeze the inner thighs and feel like that top leg is just kind of sitting on top of your bottom leg. Beautiful. Shoulders in our back pocket, chest is lifted, and we're gonna reach the arms out big. We'll go into our eagle. So left arm goes underneath the right arm, and we'll hold here. On our exhale, pull the belly button, and this is just an option to forward fold and bring elbows to our knee. And then slowly roll back up. Unthread the arms. Bring the hands into the heart center and lift the right leg up. And then set it down. Take a moment to pause here, drop the gaze, look down at the top of your fingertips. And let the hands fall down to the sides. Let's do the other side. So let's switch that block over. Stand next to it. Hands into the heart center. Roll those shoulders down and back. Get a little buoyant in the knees. Good. We'll pick up the left leg. Find your balance, hold. And then take the left leg over the right. Feel your block. Squeeze the inner thighs. Get a nice wrap of the legs. Great. And then we're reaching the arms out. And we're going to go for the other direction of our arms. So draw the shoulders down, pull the belly button in, and then begin your forward fold. On your next exhale, slowly use your abdominals to lift you back up. Unthread the arms. Bring the hands into the heart center. Lift the left leg up, find your balance, and then place that foot down. Let the arms fall down to your side. Take a moment here just to breathe. Drop your gaze to look down. And then we're going to find our tree pose next. You can keep the block close by. We're going to use it in a moment. So you can stand at the front edge of the mat. I'm just going to face you and then move to the front edge of the mat. So we're going to move from tree pose into warrior 3 and half moon. So we're going to start by using our little kickstand of a leg. Open up the hips, draw the shoulders down and back, bring the hands into the heart center. Press the palms together. That helps to keep us rooted. And then from this, and after you found your focus, you can place your right foot wherever you can maintain your balance. Be careful that we don't sink into our hip, that you're always pushing upwards. So if you slide the leg up, you do what feels good to you. And we'll stay here in our tree pose for a few breaths. Always find something to still your gaze on. You want to always find that calmness in your drishti points and that breath. Slowly move that right knee into the front. And this is how we're going to send it back. So we're holding the knee up in front of us, and then you're just going to start to pivot as that leg starts to send back behind you, and we'll experience our warrior 3. Stand strong in your standing leg, pushing into the floor. Oh, sorry. And then from warrior 3, you're going to reach out and find your block. Once you have your block in your hand, you're going to step it out in front of you to a degree because we want our back to be really straight and reaching away. And once we have our block in our place, we're going to start to rotate our body around so that our body is coming into the side. And you'll see I hop around a lot with my block. So reach your chest away and start to rotate that hip up towards the ceiling. Once the hip gets into its place, you're in your half moon position, toe pointing outward, shoulders dropping down and back. Breathe. I'm going to keep my hand at the hip, but you're also welcome to reach the arms straight up towards the sky. So working into and improving our half moon is to get our body as if it's stuck in between a wall. So we're going to hold here for a couple breaths while you can start to rotate a little bit more with each breath until your gaze is looking straight ahead and forward. Nice deep breath. Looks good. And on your exhale, let's bring ourselves around back to warrior 3. Letting go of our block, bring our hands to our heart, begin to lift the knee up and place it down. Standing strong. Beautiful. And then we're going to take ourselves back into our tree pose on the other side. All right. So as you stand in your tree pose, find the space that works best for you. And remember, each side is different. Squaring off the hips here or even all the way up, but make sure we're not at the knee. So breathe and drop your gaze to find your point, your focal point. The place that brings you peace and balance and focus. You're calm in the storm. And then we'll slowly move the knee to the front and pick it up. And we'll begin to move into our warrior posture. So picking the leg up and sending it back as you pivot forward, stretch the heel away. And you're welcome to stay in a particular place if that feels good. Square off the hips, reach your heart all the way forward. And moving into our half moon, so we're going to grab our block and start to send it out so that our back gets really long. Keep reaching into that foot and start to spiral around. Move the block until you feel that spot. And with every breath, keep rotating that hip up towards the sky. Elongating through the neck, through the spine. And if you're feeling that balance and that security, you can challenge it even more by reaching the arm to the sky. Nice. Start to bring ourselves around, hips squaring off, finding our warrior three, taking hands off the block, hands to the heart. Take the leg and move it forward. And then place it on the floor and chill in our mountain pose for a few breaths. Trying to bring that calmness back into our body. So again, we're going to walk to the front edge of our mat, and if you want to use the blocks throughout the series to raise the floor up, we've done it before in the past. We use the blocks for our planks and our push-ups and so forth. And if that feels good, start throwing it in. Inhale, arms coming all the way up. Let's swan dive, reach all the way out. Forward fold. Half lift. Forward fold, fingertips to the blocks or even to the floor. Let's step back into your plank. Draw the shoulders down, reach your chest forward. You can come down to the knees like I am or do your chaturanga. Baby cobra, full cobra, even up dog if that feels good. Wherever you are, let's meet in our down dog. Arms stretching out. Again, if you need to walk your hands in, if that makes your shoulders feel better, go ahead. We're going to take the left foot and kind of step it into the middle of the mat and pick up the right leg and send it out and then up. And I want you to rotate your right hip up towards the ceiling so that we stretch through the hip. We're going to bend that knee and just kind of circle that knee a few times in each direction, stretching out that hip. And you can rotate even more and go now. The next shape, we haven't done this before, is a wild thing. So wild thing is taking our foot back behind us and letting ourselves twist around. So we can reach our arm up towards the ceiling and lift our hips up. If that doesn't feel great, go back to the leg lift in down dog. One more breath here in wild thing, and we're going to bring everything back to that one-legged position in down dog. Take a nice deep breath. Inhale, bend that right knee and step it forward. Nice long lunge here. Hold our lunge for a breath, and then we'll drop that back knee down. Bring yourself up and have the eyes look forward. So from this shape, we're going to take our arms and lift them up towards the sky, hook our thumbs together, kind of tip off over to the right a little bit to open up the hip. While you're there, if you'd like to go a little deeper tonight, you can grab a hold of the elbow and lift your ribs up even more, stretching out the hip flexor. Feel free to back it up a notch if it's too much. It's all good. Let's bring ourselves back upright. Arms reach towards the sky. Let's forward fold. Push into the back leg. Send that heel away. Come into a nice high lunge. Shift the left hand to the inner arch of the right foot, and let's go for a little twist. I'm still in the lunge. I haven't dropped the heel down. You can also reach the arm straight up. Let it circle around. Frame your right foot. And let's step the right foot back into down dog. Kind of shake it out a little bit. Sink back into the heels. And we'll step the right foot into the middle of the mat. Lift the left leg up and stretch it straight back. Feels good. Rotate the hip and go for that nice side opening, bending the knee, circle, and the other way. And if you want to take it a little further into wild thing, start to drop that foot back behind you and reach upward. We hold this position. It opens up that whole side line of the body. Nice deep breath. You're welcome to stay in down dog. On your exhale, rotate all the way around. Let's come back into that three-legged dog, lifting that leg up. Look up between your hands and step that left foot forward. Let's find that high lunge. Hold it for a moment. Get yourself grounded in that space. Reach your chest forward. Look for a nice flat back. And then if it feels good to you, let's put that knee down and rise up. Inhale, arms coming up, hooking the thumbs together again, lifting ourselves up and over to the side. Open up the hip flexors. Grab a hold of your right elbow. Lift your elbow up and over even more. Slowly bringing yourself back into the center. Reach the arms straight up. Come back into forward fold. Frame your foot. Stretch that right heel back, lifting the knee. Take your right hand in close to the left foot and take your left hand to your hip. Continue to reach your chest forward, and you're welcome to go into a nice little twist here. Reaching that arm up if it feels good. Bring that arm down, frame your left foot. Push equal into both hands and send the left foot back, down dog. Nice deep breath, sink back into your heels, maybe lower the heels down. And let's just bend our knees and bring both knees down to the mat. Nice tabletop position. And just kind of shift your hips from side to side or even a little circle. Feel those shoulders. Good. And we're going to do a little bit of cat-cow, so tucking in that tailbone, rounding the spine, eyes looking back towards the knees. And then inhale, flattening out the back, dropping the shoulders, reaching your chest forward. Couple more flows, cat-cow. So as we find our tabletop position, bring your chest forward in between your arms. Feel rooted and grounded into the floor. And we're going to slide the left foot back. Just let it rest there on the floor until we get the upper body into place. Stretch the right arm out, thumb to the ceiling. Eyes looking at that edge of the mat there as you lift your foot up. We're going to do a little bit of work here before we get into our stretches. So I want you to take your left leg out to the side and your right arm out to the side. And then move it back. So as you're moving the right arm out to the side, turn the palm down. And as you bring it back, the thumb comes to the ceiling. Protect your shoulders. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Lift those abs up. Beautiful. And then we're going to place that hand down. The leg is still lifted. I want you to bend the knee. Swish the foot over to the right. Reach the right arm out. And if it feels good, reach back and see if you can grab a hold of your foot. If you grab a hold of your foot, I want you to hold the pinky side of your foot, not the big toe side, if you can grab it. If you're not, you're grabbing the heel. That's fine too. As we hold stretching tiger, I want you to push into your hand, roll your right shoulder back, and lift the left foot up a little bit as you press into your right hand. This is a stretch for the shoulders, so take it easy here. Breathe. Be careful not to let the leg snap out of your fingertips. Let it extend out. Let the arms sweep around to the front. And everything comes to the mat. Let yourself pause here. Sit back into child's pose. Turn the palms up. And let your head fall to the floor. It's a lot of work for the back. Moving ourselves back into tabletop. When you reach there, you're welcome to do a couple more cat-cows, preparing for the other side. It's important that you check in where your posture is. Make sure that your chest isn't back behind your wrist, that it is forward and in between your wrists, that you're nice and strong foundation. As you take the right leg and send it back, keep it on the floor until you set your left hand out in front. The thumb is to the ceiling. Push equal into that left knee and into your right hand as you lift the right leg. Let's do a little bit of work here. Sending that foot out to the side. Oops, got the window. Send the foot out to the side and back. So the left hand moves to the side, but the palm turns down. Inhale, front. Exhale, side. Inhale, front. Exhale, side. We're going to do that one more time. And then you're going to stretch all the way out and place your hand down. Keeping that right foot elevated, we'll bend the knee. Tick-tock the right foot over to the left. Send the left hand out and circle it around. If you can catch your foot, yay. If you catch your heel, yay. So I want you to feel yourself push into your right hand, lifting your chest really long. Press your foot into your hand. Roll that left shoulder back and lift the knee. Be careful when you let go, not to let the foot snap. Bring everything back and sit back into child's pose. Palms facing upward. Let your arms stretch all the way out in front. And like a cat, you're going to let yourself move forward through your arms, elbows down. And you're going to curl your toes under. So knees are down, chest is reaching forward, toes curled under, and on your exhale, reach your heels away. And let's find a nice little plank here. We're going to hold before we move into other work. So take a nice deep breath, and on your exhale, begin to lift your hips up and put your head in between your arms. Inhale, move your chest forward. So we're moving from our plank into dolphin by lifting the hips up. And then moving back into the plank. 2 more. Exhale up. Inhale forward. Last one, exhale up. And inhale forward. Let the knees lower down. Stretch the arms out in front. And find your child's pose, reverse that work. We'll come to a seated position. Letting the legs stretch out in front of us for staff pose. Lift the arms straight up towards the sky. And as you exhale, forward fold over your thighs. Let the hands fall down. The head relax. And again, wherever you are in your forward fold here, just enjoy that hamstring stretch. If you need to bend your knees, go ahead. And we're going to slide our hands back by your hips and push ourselves upwards so that we're sitting up really tall. Push into the floor, lift your chest up, and on your exhale, lift your right leg up off the floor and place it right on top of your left one, so they're stacked on top of each other. Again, you're still pushing into the floor. You're going to reach your chest all the way forward. Hinge all the way back up. Keep that uplifted spine as you lift the leg up off the other foot and place it back down. Forward fold, let the hands walk forward, round over your legs. The other side now as we slide our hands back, push into the floor, lift your chest all the way up, draw the belly button in, and on your exhale, lifting the left foot up and placing it on top of your right one. Keep both feet flexed, lift your chest up and lean forward. Exhale, hinge yourself right back up so that you're sitting up nice and tall. And then do that. Point the toes straight out in front. Squeeze the legs together. I want you to think about the next one by keeping the big toes touching through the whole thing. You're going to slide the hands back behind you about a foot. Lean back. Draw the shoulders back. Bend your elbows just a little bit. Scoop the belly. You're going to press into your feet. Draw those shoulders back and lift your hips. Try to keep the big toes touching, pointing, stretching out the front of the ankles. Slowly lowering the hips down without sinking into the shoulders, bend the elbows. Slide the feet in so we're in a bound angle position. And you're welcome to take your blocks and place them under your knees. If you need a little support there, that's totally fine. We're going to take our hands to the shins, to the knees, or even to the thighs, wherever you can grab. But I don't want to pull the feet in. I want to keep them out a little bit. And lifting up through the chest, just going to, again, round over. We'll stretch out our hips. As you round over, let the whole spine relax. Maybe move yourself from side to side, whatever feels good. And then roll up nice and easy. We're going to take our legs and move them on top of each other. So as you take your right leg and move it on top of the left, just kind of round over them. And then we're going to open it back up into the diamond and then take the left on top of the right and then round over it. So again, just creating a little stretch and mobility in the hip socket. We'll do 2 more on each side. And then we'll make our way back into the center. Bring the right foot in and line it up with the front edge of your mat. And we'll start with the left leg. You're going to pick the leg up and pull it into your chest, lift it up nice and tall, and then we're going to grab the heel of our foot. The other hand is going into the crease of the hip as we kind of try to move this leg back and forth. So the crease of the hip I like because it opens up that hip, and once you get that hip flexor to loosen, we can grab a hold of the knee, and we're just going to move the leg side to side. You know, the right one's right in front. And then we're going to place that foot. If you can go all the way over to the knee, that's fine. If you can come in front, that's fine too. Wherever you want to place your foot, we're going to hold this position, grab the knee, and lift all the way up. Nice deep breath. Roll those shoulders back. Drop your gaze to look down at your knees. The back of the neck is long as we open up our hip. And then we'll let go of the knee and we'll take that ankle and we'll place it right on top, and we'll have half lotus position. So I want both feet to be flexed, and you're going to lift up through the chest and again hinge forward to your degree. And then as we slowly come out of this bound position, we're going to let both legs go right out in front and just kind of move them in and out. So we open up the hips again for the other side. So as we take the other foot and we line it up with the front edge of the mat, we begin taking that hand into the crease of the hip, letting any tension in that hip go as we move it across our body. Once that releases, if it releases, it might not. So if it doesn't, keep your hand there. But if you find a release into the hips joint, you can bring your hand to your knee. And that's kind of like, we call this cradling the baby. So you want to kind of rock it back and forth as we stretch out our hip. And then wherever that foot lands is where we're going to place it. So if it only goes this far, then that's fine. We don't want to push ourselves into where I'm at. All right. So if the hips lifts up a little bit, move the foot in, and we're going to grab a hold of that knee and lift ourselves all the way up, draw the shoulders back and hold your stretch. And then taking a hold of the ankle and placing it on top, and then working gently to have this knee come down. It takes a little while, so I have a space here. If that bothers your hip at all, you can place your block there so that the knee rests on it. Just an option, always raise the floor, and then we're just gonna lean forward, let the hands rest on the floor. And take a nice few breaths here, allowing the hip to release. And then slowly bringing ourselves up, unbinding our legs. We're going to use the block that we have to have a seat. So we're going to sit on top of our block. Let the ankles cross in front, whatever feels good to you, and then let the knees drop down in front. Sitting up nice and tall, again, rooting ourselves into our block. You're going to find a mudra position, whether thumb to pointer finger, middle finger, or ring finger, whatever resonates the best with you. And we're just going to let our hands rest on top of our thigh for a few breaths before we begin letting things and find our ending position today. Nice deep breath. And exhale. Embrace all the positive thoughts and exhale all the negative thoughts, and let the negative thoughts just kind of stay on your mat. So as you open up your eyes and you let the positive thoughts lift up towards the sky, and then as you exhale, let them rain over top of you, and then you're going to push all the negative thoughts back behind you. Inhale, lift the good. Exhale the bad. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Let that positive energy just shower over you. Find your heart center. Nod your head. Thank yourself for making time for yourself today. Nice deep breath. And on your exhale, have a wonderful night.